Hey, welcome back to Sprague Homestead. I'm Kanan.
I'm Nikki.
And if you guys have noticed lately, the cost of everything is going up. And unfortunately, at a certain level, you're probably going to start questioning if you have too much stuff and it's time to get rid of some things.
So today we want to talk a little bit about, is it time to cut your critters back? This is always a tough one for me, but the days of growing extra and selling it to help cover costs really might be behind us. And I'm not saying that everywhere and in everything, but by and large, at least here in our part of Southern Oregon, sales on everything have dried up. A lot of people have been cutting herds and cutting flocks. I keep seeing adult chickens going for like $5 a piece, where I used to sell my chicks for $4 and $5. So guess what? We're not hatching as many birds because I can't even break even, much less make any money off of it. So we hatched some this spring for replacement layers, and of course the roosters will go to freezer camp for us. But by and large, we stopped hatching chickens, a month ago?
About
a month ago. The quail, we were doing pretty good. People were buying quail, and then all of a sudden, game bird starter, which is what everybody says online to start them with, hit $28 a bag locally, I think it was.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
And nobody wants to buy quail anymore, or they want to try and convince me that 8-week-old quail, they're not that big. Should only be a couple bucks, right?
Yeah. And really, I mean, even outside of the birds, if you're buying hay of any sort, a couple years ago, we were getting a ton of good hay, like 90-10. It was, $250, $270, something like that a ton. And now it's, if you can find a deal,
$400.
It's $400.
Yeah.
So, when you buy a volume of hay or anything else, or even if you buy it by the bale, right? You go down to your local store, you buy it by the bale, where you used to pay maybe $15, $16, $17. It's like $25 or $28 per bale on a retail store.
Yeah, so I mean, we're like everybody else. We've been cutting some flocks back. Older birds were the first to go. We're kind of consolidating to see, what do we need to support ourselves, our dogs, and fill the freezers. And then from there, what do I need to still be able to hatch? Because we will have to hatch replacement layers and replacement meat birds and that kind of thing. But everything else is going. And it's going to freezer camp because it's not cost effective to sell it.
Yeah. The
goats, once again, this fall, we're probably not going to breed our Nigerian dwarfs. The market for dwarfs seems to be in the gutter. I've been watching some folks on Craigslist try and sell goats, Nigerians, now for a good month and a half, and the price is going lower and lower and lower. And they're cute, right? They're backyard, they're nichey. I mentioned this on another video, the mini livestock. But let's be realistic, for Homestead, they're too small. They're really too small for much of anything. Trying to milk one of those guys. The little teats are very small. They do put out a good milk volume. So if there's like 2 of you and you really like Nigerians, it's probably worth having a couple. But for us, I get more bang for my buck breeding my Nubians. So we're going to breed our Nubians again. And I still have work for the Nigerians. We still use them for land clearing and things. But we've cut back. We sold quite a few goats this year. And I've got some bucklings this year that will get weathered. And if they don't sell, they are going to freezer camp.
Yep.
Because there's no point in holding this stuff anymore. So the point of this video is to get you thinking a little bit about what you might be sitting on. We've cut rabbits, we've cut goats, we've cut birds. What are you sitting on and why are you sitting on it? That's the other thing. Because like I said, the days of growing excess to help cover your feed bills, if it's not gone, it's rapidly going. A good example of that is my rabbit buyer, who is... he's buying, but his trips to my area are getting fewer and further apart. And that's not necessarily because of me, but other breeders, are looking $20 to $25 a bag in the face and are cutting back. So what happens to me when all the other people at my stop cut back? Well, he's not making a trip out here just for me. So now I've got rabbits that I can't sell. So guess what happens? I quit breeding quite as much. And that's what we've seriously got to be looking at is, if you're working with a buyer that's doing all right now, is that going to stay going when the feed bag price goes up even more? Because, I had a nice talk with my girl at the feed store today where I was picking up some rabbit feed, and she's saying this ain't over. My pallet price was $20 a bag. My pallet price.
Volume discount.
That's $2 and I think she said $2.15 a bag off. Let that sink in a little bit and then tell yourself, oh, I'll still sell my extra. There is no market for pets that's going to pay you. And the meat market is sketchy at best when it comes to rabbits. So be thinking about it seriously, especially as we're starting to go into the fall months. Feed usually gets more expensive in the winter. You usually see a little bit of reprieve in the fall, and then it starts going back up usually by December and January. So I want everybody, here's a little homework assignment for you. I want you to seriously go look at what you've got and look at what you're feeding. And if it does not contribute to you directly, whether that's irritating collie dogs that just bring you joy and happiness and kisses, or quail that you're eating, or chickens that you're growing replacement layers, whatever it is, if it's not actually turning you some profit or doing something for you, I want you to seriously sit down and think about whether or not it's time to let that critter go.
You can always get back in. It's just really hard to get out.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing now. I mean, we're not getting out of anything to the point that we can't replenish if we need to. But I'd rather build back than go broke, basically.
That's right. Have yourself a Build Back Better plan.
Ooh, I don't know that I would have used that.
Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Leave your comments down below. What are you guys sitting on that you probably should let go, or you're considering this fall letting go? And let us know. We want to see what everybody else is doing out there. And with that, thanks for stopping by from Sprague River Homestead.
Happy homesteading.